All right, well, thanks for coming, everyone. It is Thursday, February 19th, believe it or not. And we are here to talk budgets. We probably should have moved the table in the middle. So the first thing on the agenda is to approve the meeting minutes of January 27th. Do I have a motion for that? Oh, thanks, Mary.
Oh,
Thank you, Mary. Do I have a motion for that? Thanks, Scott.
second.
Thanks, Mel. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, accept the meeting minutes of February 5th for review.
So moved.
Second.
So I'm gonna say Mary moved and Mo seconded. How's that?
Sounds good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Okay, so we have a capital budget committee. We need 3 people from FinCom to represent FinCom on that capital budget committee. Interest there?
What are the dates? Do you know when the dates are?
Do we know when the dates are?
We have not, because we don't even have the submittals yet. Historically, they are the second week of March, a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then usually you hear presentations that day. They normally start around 2:30. If we get 3 requests in, we might start a little bit later. We get 7 or 8 requests in, we start a little earlier. And then we dispatch, and then a week later, the committee comes back to vote, and that's usually 15, 20. I mean, you were there last year.
Yeah,
So
I just know I'm traveling the week of the 21st,
It'll be before that.
22nd, so
Yeah, it'll be
I'd be
before
happy to do it again if that's okay.
Okay,
I'd like to as well.
okay. I know you've done it in the past, Scott. I haven't done it for a while. Anybody mind if I go?
No.
Go for it. Thank you. I got other stuff going on. I can't.
Awesome. Okay, does that work for you?
Sure.
Okay. All right, thank you.
I would just take a motion, please.
Oh, a motion to appoint Chris, Scott, and myself to
So moved.
represent. Thank you. And thank you, Sue. All those in favor?
Aye.
Everybody okay? Anybody opposed? Okay, perfect. So on to budget hearings. Data processing is first. Can you please introduce yourself for the
Ed
committee? Hi, Ed.
Hi, Ed.
How are you?
Good to see you.
What do you have for us?
Okay, just going line by line, data processing coordinator was a 3% increase. Office repairs and engineering, the same status quo, $1,000. Data processing services, we're still on that a little bit. We may have to make an adjustment on that, correct?
Yep, yeah, I'll explain.
Yeah, okay. But it's at 27 and change.
So that's down, you think?
There's a reason why it's down.
Okay,
But we did have an increase too from Revise. They're up to $6,000 a year
Okay.
for their web
Okay.
page service. I'll leave the tech consultants to last. Internet connection up a little bit. It was an increase at the police department. Network equipment's the same. Data processing training is nothing. And our computer equipment is the same. So
Okay.
the big increase in the tech consultant line is a renewal for VMware. It's out of our control. People are getting scared of it. They're moving away from it. But right now, we're kind of in a bind to get through this year. We've got an alternative plan for next year, for the next fiscal year, that would get rid of this. It's just,
sorry, what is this?
this is VMware. This controls the virtual servers.
Oh, okay.
And the company was bought out. We dealt with VMware for years, and then the company was bought out by Broadcom. The price went up, and now I don't even know the name of this other company that's dealing with it. But Hub said, we hate to even give you the price. It's scary. So we have to deal with it.
Hub sort of manages all of this, is that right? Or it all
Yes,
comes through
yes.
Hub?
Yeah. Yeah.
So do we need new servers? Is that kind of where we're going?
Well, we're looking at a new piece of equipment, which actually is servers. It's an all-in-one device that's And what we would be doing is, for 3 years, we wouldn't be paying service contracts on these things,
Mm.
because they come under the original warranty, and then service contracts stop, and that's what's happened with VMware. No, it's just gone out of control, but you gotta have it.
Is there a danger of putting everything in one bucket, though? If you're going to go forward and have
One piece of
one piece of equipment running?
I don't think so. They seem to be, from what I was described, they're selling a ton of it, and people are happy with it.
Mm.
So, you know, it's
And you
all-
wouldn't migrate to the cloud, or is that not a thing?
No, it would be, these are physical, not physical servers, they're virtual servers.
Virtual.
They're not in the cloud.
Okay,
Our storage is in the cloud.
okay.
So then, just so everybody knows, last night this was uncovered at the selectmen's meeting, but line 5303,
Mhm.
that is the line that is down.
Mm.
Inclusive in that line is revised, which is our website. That's what Ed was referring to. That annual fee is in there. There is a backup page so that you can see it. Also inclusive in there usually is also Rave. Rave is we signed up 2 years ago on a 3-year contract, and that is so that way that our public safety, if you sign up for it, can communicate if there is an emergency situation. Fortunately, we've not had to use it because we haven't had any real catastrophes. But it's $3,500 a year. And if you look at the backup, you can see it's not in for FY 2027. I just didn't know that it was another year or was thinking it was going to come out of a different budget. But we reviewed the contract today. I forwarded it off to the selectmen by email so they all saw it. So we all are aware and let Ed know as well. I'll have to add $3,500 in it. As you know, I'll scrub the budgets in April, and I'll bring to the selectmen who will take their vote and bring it to you for your vote. So I'll have to make that adjustment at that time.
Okay.
Stuff's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's IT. Any other questions on this budget?
Mm-mm.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ed.
Take care.
You
Have a
too.
safe drive.
Thanks.
Okay, there's the libraries next, I think. Hi.
Hi,
You don't
Melanie
mind?
Terrell.
I'm sorry?
Melanie Terrell.
Melanie, thank you,
Hi,
Melanie.
Melanie.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How are things at the library?
You doing pretty good?
Excellent.
Yeah.
What do you have for us?
All right, so for the first 3 line items are salaries. It's myself, assistant department head, which we do not have right now. We're in the middle of the hiring process. And the clerical salaries, I'm requesting 3% for all 3. You'll notice that next to the clerical salaries, it says 2%, and that is because last year's numbers that I requested were slightly higher than they needed to be. So
Okay.
the actual salaries would increase 3%, just not the number.
Would it be more like 3?
It would be 3 for them, but in the budget, it's only 2.
Okay.
And it was just because I think the numbers were a little higher
Yeah,
last year than they
I
needed
know
to be.
where everyone else seems to get 3.
Exactly. And I wanted to make it clear, I'm not just,
Yeah.
trying to leave them behind by
Oh,
5% or
that's okay.
anything like that.
So we lost someone on staff? and
Yeah,
you're
the assistant
replacing them?
director got a new job as a director in a different library in November.
Oh, okay.
So we've done without an assistant director for that
Okay.
long, but we're in the process. We've hired we've interviewed people and we selected someone that
Oh, great.
hopefully will be a good fit.
Excellent.
Yeah. If we go down to heating, which is 5210, I got to this number because I looked at what we spent in FY '25, and it was a little bit above what we had requested for FY '25, so I took that number that we spent and added $1,000 for a buffer there, to get to what I'm requesting for '27.
Yeah, costs are definitely going up.
Yeah, and it's really tricky to kind of figure out.
It is.
Yeah, it's been a cold winter too, so. yeah.
Right. So I am also requesting 3% electricity, which is the line below it. We
Mhm.
usually have some wiggle room with electricity because of the credits we get from the solar panels. So if
Yeah.
there's anything, heat is too high, it usually balances out in
Okay.
that way. And then if we go down, everything else is zero increase until we get down to 5510, which is books and periodicals. So as a reminder, in order to stay certified by the state, we have to spend 16% of the budget that we receive from the town on materials for items that get checked out and everything like that. So that is just it is just the increase, so it's a 16% of that total budget.
Okay.
Are those going up really fast, books?
What?
Like everything else, the prices of books going?
I don't think they're going, I don't think so.
No?
I think what is pricier are ebooks and e-audiobooks.
Of course.
And those are tricky because with
Yeah.
all the publishing rules and everything, usually we only buy, the way we buy it, we can either buy it for say 2 years or 100 checkouts or however it's set
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And an e-audiobook can be like $80.
Oh my God.
It's wild.
Wow.
But there are a lot of checkouts, audiobooks especially have been going up, and
Really?
ebooks in general compared to physical books.
Mm.
We still get that circulation too.
You have to pay for the subscription, the ebook was $80, is that what you said?
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
kind of
goodness.
buy the rights to it, and then
Oh.
depending on, well, sometimes we have options, it really just depends on the book, but we buy the right to it, and it's either like for a set amount of time or for a set amount of checkouts, and then
Wow.
sometimes if it's really popular, we'll buy it again.
Wow, when you buy the
Yeah.
book, you could have it for 100 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, wow.
Although it's
But I
kind of
won't
like
have
the
it with
wear
me.
and tear.
Right, I've got my
Exactly.
Kindle in my purse, I have
Right.
all my books
Yeah.
with me.
And that's for
Oh, I
Libby.
know.
And
I
then
know.
Hoopla, we don't own anything that's on Hoopla. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. So
Yeah.
the library pays per checkout for those. So
Oh.
it's a little bit different that way too, but that's why it's limited.
Yeah, I love the
monthly.
Libby. I use books all the time from that.
Yeah,
It's great.
it's great.
Except a lot of the stuff I want is checked out already.
Yes.
I have to put it on hold.
That is, yes, that's why the Hoopla checkouts have been going up because there's no hold on Hoopla. So if you don't use Hoopla, you're out of track.
Oh, I haven't checked that in. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll check that
So
out.
it'll be the same information you would log on with for Libby.
Okay.
Did I read, Melanie, where you're gonna lose passport income?
I don't know what they're talking about.
So we
I
can still
have-
go there?
Yeah, I have not heard anything about that. Someone told me today that they saw on the news that libraries shouldn't be
Not
accepting.
sure that they were just gonna cut
Yeah, I don't
libraries
know.
out.
I haven't heard,
You haven't heard anything
I haven't heard
official?
anything about that.
How
I
much
hear-
revenue do we get for that, do you
A
know?
lot. It it's $35 per passport.
Yeah.
And every month is different depending on our like availability and,
Right.
and all that sort of thing, but we probably do an average of like 20 to 25 passports a month, and some months we'll do a lot more, and some months we'll do a lot less.
I forgot about that. I just renewed mine.
Yeah. I think the article was just something about libraries don't have the facilities to check citizenship and, you know, the usual stuff you're
But that's the
hearing.
same thing as the post office.
I know.
We're just doing the one thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's going
I
to
It
the
was
agencies.
great to do
you
it, because
know?
I had my
Yeah.
kids with me, and there was
Right.
like a little room in the back, and we all got tucked in. It
Yeah,
was great.
And like you said, you're just a conduit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
right.
And that's how they do it, unless
Right.
you're going to Boston, but they won't let you go there unless you're traveling within 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm not sure what. I
So
don't
it's
know,
just a
someone else-
rumor.
Yeah, well,
Vicious
someone else
rumor.
thought, like, if there was another government shutdown, there wouldn't be passports, but we didn't have any issues. They kept going when we had the first shutdown, so
Sure.
I don't know.
You don't do renewals, though.
We don't, no.
Okay.
You do that on your own, unless it's been expired for more than 5 years.
And then you're starting over.
Yeah, you're starting over, yep.
Mm.
Or if you have a child, it's a new thing every time with them.
All right, any more questions on the budget?
I see the property maintenance hasn't changed at all. I know, I think we just heard it's 25 years or something like that. You sure that's enough to cover for anything, or are you?
Yeah, we
capital
haven't,
budget for
right, because
anything?
last year I did ask for a more significant increase, and we haven't run into any issues with anything as far as anything else so far, so I think we'll be okay. I am looking at possibly replacing the rugs, but that might end up being next year, depending on the cost.
That would be more of a capital
Capital.
thing.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly,
right.
exactly, yep.
That's what
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking about, was really more capital, and then any Dave, I don't know if you might be, if I feel that the technology, is that tied in with what Ed was just talking about? Not completely separate. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks,
Nice to
Melanie.
see you.
Thank you.
Assessors.
Thank you.
I know, at least one of you needs no introduction.
I left, but
Yes, I know, everybody knows Daniela. I'm Daniela. town
Hi
assessor.
Daniela, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I miss
So-
hearing your mom.
So I'm presenting the assessor's budget. We're asking for 3% increases on our salaries, and I have one in my clerical salaries that's also getting a step, so that's why it's at 5%.
Okay,
One employee is now eligible for longevity, and she's part-time, so it's a prorated amount, so it's the weird 66% increase on longevity.
okay.
And then recording and filing fees, we were a little bit short, so we're asking for $25. And postage, we're asking for 3%, which is $35, and that's it.
That's a pretty easy deal there.
Pretty good asks.
was that the contractual agreement?
Yes.
Okay.
What is the consultant services?
That's a few different things. Patriot does our CAMA software, our appraisal software, and they do some of the entry for us and personal property accounts for us. And then if we need to do any consulting for appellate tax board cases, it would come out of that line as well.
So how is that going? I mean, there was like a lot to do about that particular budget with the assessor that was in that spot for a while, with the Patriot, software and all that jazz.
Yeah, it's going pretty well. The software has its days where there's things that we don't like about it, but overall it's good software. They have knowledgeable staff that do help
Mhm.
us with the consulting.
Okay.
And then with the appellate tax board, we basically started fresh, so we haven't had to use too much money in appraisals or anything recently.
Okay, so we get a lot of like appeals or abatement requests and things like that you're able to manage?
It's greatly lowered, yes, so
Okay.
we're doing pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah, no increase.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's good.
Any questions? No?
Mhm.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
The account, do you want to do those after the water?
Yeah, do
We'll do water. Come on down. It's always a complicated budget. Yeah. Yep, and we have a ruler to whack your head.
Yeah, wow, that's okay. My mother used to hit me with
I
this.
see double digits here, Wayne.
That one had a-
I know, this budget looks a
Double
little bit all
digits.
over the place, my friend. What's going on?
Well,
Whoa, everything's up 10%.
so that's what I use, and the selectmen took umbrage with that, and that's fine. I have to
Yeah.
gauge a number. Some of my costs really do escalate, like the cost of copper, brass, and stuff have gone way through the roof.
Yeah.
You'll also find some where department, what I've spent year to date. Really, when this is made up, we're about 5 months in, so some things haven't clicked in yet. You know, you're waiting for invoices, if we have a build. So you're gonna see lines that aren't spent out. The line, you know, I use about 5 operating lines that really we spend out of, and you're gonna see those being spent. So, that's the best explanation I can have for that.
Yeah.
When I overspend a line, and basically what I do is I look at the previous year, year 25. If I've spent more than I asked for in 26, then I take the number in 26 and multiply it by 10% and bring it up. I do try not to raise it up because I don't want to inflict a rate increase by going overboard on anything. So we run close to the vest pretty much.
I'm not sure I understood a lot of that.
Yeah,
I'm
me
sorry.
either.
I'm
I've been
sorry.
told I say too much and I speak too fast.
I'm just seeing a lot of changes and trying to understand how to go about asking questions. Because
All
it
right,
looks like
well,
every
we
line
did-
is different.
Yeah, so if we just stop moving down, then you can pepper me with questions.
How
Okay.
have salaries changed?
So salaries really haven't changed. So like you see the GS, she's 3% by contract. The elected officials have not had any increase. I have a 4% increase. and that's by contract. And then the clerical salaries, it says 8%, but there's a step raise and there's a 3% in there, so it's really not 8%. She's hitting a step increase in the middle of it, so she's not getting 8%.
So it's 3
Yeah,
plus.
it's 3 plus her step, which I think is 5, but I'm not sure. Please don't hold me to that. And then the labor line, I brought up by 3%. If we go to the office manager, she's up by 3%. And then when we get the temporary salaries, so this is kind of a new line, and it's a 1-year expense, and it's for a crossover, whatever happens if they hire a new superintendent, to allow crossover time between him and me, or her and me, whoever they hire, or whatever happens.
Are you leaving?
Yes,
I didn't.
When are you
know.
leaving though? End of the year or?
I'm gonna leave in December.
Congrats.
Thank you.
So you're figuring you're gonna be like double duty, you're gonna have two of you?
If there's a crossover, whatever occurs, whatever the town decides, if there's a crossover, it's allowed for it. So that's like a 1-year expense that's on this slide.
Yeah.
And there are 2 items
That makes
in
sense.
here that are gonna be one-time expenses for this year.
That
Training.
may or may not happen, right,
Right.
depending on who they hire?
No.
Right, and when they
timing.
hire, or whatever
And
happens, I'm off to the side, I have $20 million worth of projects I'm running, and I'm trying to close out a $4 million piece right now, so I don't really have time to look at that, and it really doesn't involve me, it involves the town and the commissioners.
Well, if I can interject that on behalf of the commission,
Please.
we want to make sure, particularly we're gonna have a brand-new treatment plant coming online soon at Manly, another one that's gonna be in the end phases, just coming online down at Sierra Norman. This is the one person who's gonna be really intimately knowledgeable about
Right.
both of them.
Right.
Even no matter who we bring on,
Right.
if we get them in before Wayne leaves, or if it goes in after Wayne leaves and we can bring him back
Right.
to give him that extra as the things are starting up. Because if something happens, rather than trying to go into a bunch of O&M manuals and figure out what to
Yeah.
do, we want to have the institutional knowledge available. And
Okay,
that's, so that's kind of important with this overlap.
Sure.
okay.
Sure.
Absolutely.
You got overtime.
So I went up by 10%, I spent 50,000 in '25, and I only asked for 48. I've got 5 people now. If there is the possibility when the plants come online, I know Bridgewater was forced to staff it 24/7 for a duration of time. And Manley Street's gonna come online, and it's not coming up as expected, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen, so I'd rather have the money sitting there. If it doesn't get spent, and then in the next year, the next person will just reduce it down. It's not, just
I'm
keep,
sorry, which line was that?
oh.
You said 48,000?
The,
Yeah, 5130.
the overtime.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Oh, I see. Town meeting gave 48 last year, you went a little higher.
Yeah,
And you
And-
just went by 10%, just as a
Yes.
flat number?
right. There's no way to predict what's gonna happen. I can't,
The
hopefully we
next
never
one's
have
by-
any water main breaks. We don't talk about that loud.
Knock on wood.
Okay, and then you have longevity,
All right,
somebody's,
so that's by contract, and there are 3
Reaching.
employees that are drawing on
Okay.
that.
Retirement contribution went up by 10%?
So it's a flat number, that's a town number, so this is a placeholder. David's gonna, before the budget goes anywhere, he'll input the correct numbers once he gets them, but he doesn't have his data as we're moving forward through this, so it's just a placeholder. So my budget probably
Still makes your numbers look
decreased.
higher.
It does make them look higher, yes, but I don't know what placeholder to put there. And I've done things in the past, and, rightfully so, I got yelled at for not putting in enough funds, so.
Oh, yeah, no matter what, you're gonna lose.
Right, so it's just,
You're doing good,
they're
Wayne.
just placeholders, they're gonna be fixed at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll just explain this. The retirement contribution is set by Plymouth County, which is managed under the auspices of the state. So we will receive that number in the next 30 days or so. Everything else that you see that's town there, that's insurance related. So our insurance gets rated like everybody else's. And think about it, it doesn't start until July 1st. So if your insurance renewal was on July 1st, you're probably not gonna know in February what the rate increase is gonna be. So we'll know, I'll take a best guess estimate, and then as I said, when I bring this budget back, I'll scrub those numbers to the best of my knowledge and I'll change them. And Wayne is right, last year he used 0%, other times he's put in 5, this year he's put in, so it's always a moving target. So if you see town, then I'll scrub that once I have better information when it comes back before you.
Okay. Allowance and stipends?
So you notice there's a negative there.
Negative 15%.
But I know what my employees have for license, I know what they're doing and what they're going for. So that's why I knew that I could trim that number down now. I have 5 employees and I know what they're doing, so that
Okay.
number could be trimmed back. Like I said, when I see it, if the number's inflated, I will reduce it. It's not, because I never want to inflict a rate increase.
Okay.
Allowances and stipends, though, how do you reduce that?
Well, because I know what license, so they're paid by the different, various licenses they have.
Right, so are they not going to renew certain licenses?
No, it was, so in the previous years, it was held out at a higher, there are 4 tiers, so there are 8 licenses to be acquired on the water part of it. And there's 4 tiers in those. And they jump significantly between like 1,200, I want to say, and then up to like 4,200.
But
So-
this means somebody's going down.
Yes, but I know where they are in the system and what they're getting. So one is topped out, so his is fixed. Another one is as far as he's gonna go, so that's 2 of them are fixed.
So does that mean the budget requested before was too high?
It could have, because I can't tell how somebody's, like, I never left any money on the table. I went for everything.
Oh, so you're
So-
budgeting for everyone to get all of the
Right,
allowances and
yes.
stipends, and if they don't, it stays
Right,
in
and
there.
then I know how
Yeah.
long it takes to get through the schooling now. You can't increase without taking certain classes. And they take 12 weeks and they're only offered at certain points. So you have to go, and sometimes they're not offered online and they're in places where it's 3 hours to drive to it, so you're not gonna drive, so you might miss a year. All right, is that,
Yes, thank you.
okay.
Um,
Sick time, so this is a one-time hit also. There's a contract, there's an employee retiring, by contract, he's allowed that, so this is a one-time, 1-year hit.
so you have that much sick time saved that's gonna
Yes.
get bought back?
I have
59
more than that,
grand?
but I'm only paid
That's a
out.
lot of money.
Huh? 59 grand for?
Yeah, I wish that they stocked that up in something on the side as you went through the years, but they don't, so then it becomes a one-time budget hit.
Yeah.
Does that affect retirement too?
No, I don't think that affects retirement.
Okay.
So it must have been a lot of vacation and sick.
Yeah, so heating and fuel, I only went up 5%. We all know we've had a very bad winter, so hopefully next winter is nice and sunny and warm and we're,
Hmm.
Me
You moving
too.
to Florida when you retire?
yeah, no, it's too hot down there.
Just kidding.
The electricity, we use a lot of electricity, and the solar kickback does help a lot, so, but electricity is, if you do anything with electricity, you know it's very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And they're always threatening to go up, and they get to increase.
Mm-hmm.
Water, so this is, the Turnpike residents are on the eastern side, so we have to reimburse Easton for what our residents use. And they've built treatment plants and their rates have gone up, so this is just capturing that.
So you only spent,
So in
so last
25,
year
I
you spent
9,000,
9,000?
yeah.
Okay. So you're expecting it to be that much more?
Right. I just want to cover it, and if we don't when the next person looks back and they see we didn't, then they don't have to increase it in a future year.
But don't all these increases go to people's water bill? Like whatever your budget is, isn't that gonna cause people's water
So
bills to
there is
go up
no.
if you're
When I look at the
overestimating?
budget, so when I look at what I took in free cash surplus, whatever you call it, there's no budget increase, and Manly is now on the books. I don't believe that there'll be a rate increase coming this year.
Okay.
When Sierra Norman comes, it's a larger loan, and it'll be different.
Okay. Property maintenance.
I have 8 buildings, and they're beginning, some of them are showing some wear and tear. So you're gonna see 20%, because I just had to do a whole pile on this year's budget, and I'm just looking at the future. Some of our heaters are failing because they're 20 years old sitting up there. So they just randomly fail, and I have to hire somebody. And I found a good contractor in town, so.
Okay.
Vehicle repairs, I have almost all new except for my van. So I did not increase that line at all.
Okay.
Equipment repairs and maintenance, I only went up 5%. Some of our Is there any question? I've stopped talking. Any questions?
No, that seems
Road repairs,
reasonable.
we're really becoming more of a treatment-oriented thing. I have minimal staffing for my treatment plants when they're both online. I'll have 2 in each plant and a floater in between. They won't spend all day in the plants, but some days they might, so it's just to cover minimal staffing. And so we're really not gonna be doing a lot of road repairs. We do 10 hydrants a year because that's what I budget for. If they start failing faster, then somebody will be asking for more money to replace a whole pile at once. Preventative maintenance, I stayed at 0. Watershed maintenance is 0. Hydrant repairs, 0. Equipment hire. So these next 2 lines in leasing equipment. So our lagoons need to be cleaned out, and there's a giant machine you rent, and it's a lightweight excavator instead of a 200-ton machine going in, but it's 70 feet tall and it can reach into what we do. So I'm hoping to do that once we get past July, to reach into our lagoons and scoop them out. So that's why you see those lines have increased, and then they should be dropping back down once we get past that. Engineering service was 0. I thought data processing was mine, but I heard you speak up 5303 for.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you get charged your portion.
Yeah, all right. I was like, how do I
So-
explain that? I'm like, where did I get so
That's on
everything
top of-
percent? I was like,
So, yeah, why is that up 80%?
I think he explained it already, but
Well, I don't know if that's an accurate number, I haven't looked at
Okay.
the number yet. But,
Okay.
so what Ed said earlier, because they're an enterprise fund, so they pay for all of their expenses. So there's a percentage breakdown based on use. So what Ed explained earlier also affects the water department as well. So once I look at Ed's budget, we'll back this in. This really could say town, because once I back it in, I'll know exactly what the dollars are.
Okay.
legal services was 0. Network, that's the town, 10%. Laboratory services. So I know already that once we bring Manly online, they're gonna kick me back into enhanced lead and copper sampling. That's twice a year coming up. Plus, to bring Manly online, I'm also gonna have to do enhanced sampling. They're gonna require it. So that's why you see that number jumping to cover that cost.
Okay.
Borrowing costs.
Medical
that's it.
services?
Internet connections, town. Prior year spent more than budget. Office supplies. I can never stay ahead of this line, and so basically, I forecasted at 10%. We're usually right at or not. And you can see that in 25, I spent more than I asked for in 26, and the costs have not gone down. And with 0.5% at backflow testing. We hire a firm, we actually generate revenue off of this, so, but it's just to cover their costs. Their costs are going up because they have to pay their employees to come out and do it. Their tools and supplies, prior year, once again, I spent a lot more than I did. Hopefully that we can stay within the 10%. Pipes, meters, and fittings was down 5%.
Ooh.
And then water purification chemicals. Hopefully, if everything works out with Manly, we might be able to reduce that. We'll be using the KOH, potassium hydroxide, is a very expensive chemical, very volatile in pricing. When you see us bringing the tanker from place to place, there's $19,000 driving in that tanker.
It's interesting, though, that your chemicals are flat
Yeah.
overall. You would
Right.
think they'd be through the roof right about now. But
Well, we should have somewhat of a saving on Manly Street.
Right.
Because we're changing the
We also-
disinfection process. So
right.
that should save us some of the chemicals.
Yes, we did away with potassium permanganate, so.
Okay.
So that's 14%. So we've made it through our licensing, so now we come into where everybody has to start going to classes to generate their credits for their 2-year out license renewals. Fleet insurance, town. There's the school and education, so that's 0, because I know that I've got 3 guys taking 3 classes, and by time, they can only take X amount of classes in a budget year. Tank inspection, I already have an estimate, so I know what it's gonna cost me to have the 500,000 gallon tank inspected.
Okay.
and 00, and then we're into the debts, which I believe the truck is gonna pay off this year, and then we paid for the new dump truck because we had to replace it on an emergency basis in cash, so that should be the end of the vehicle things. Police detail stayed at 0. Once again, we're not spending that much time out on the road. Hopefully, we still do when we have to. Is Manley Street, 6084 is coming online. So it fit into our budget. Looking at my, once again, free cash, we shouldn't need a budget rate increase to cover it.
The 163,
Yeah, plus the
you're gonna
interest.
cover under free cash?
Yep. Walnut Street tank, that's a tough loan because it's the farm loan, and it's huge interest, and you see the principal is way up there with the interest. That loan will probably pay off at about the same time we pay off the Sierra Norman. It's that long, it was a 40-year
Which is-
note.
So, sorry, when's it gonna,
It'll probably pay off right about when Sierra Norman, so about 20 years out.
20 years from now?
Yep. And that brings me to the bottom.
So we've heard a lot about water increases. Can you summarize that just a little bit?
So I kept telling you that there should not be one. Based on what I saw from my certified free cash, surplus cash, whatever you call it,
How
what
much
we
is in
generated
there?
for revenue, so it was 518,000 and some change.
Okay, that's your surplus right now?
Yes. And we're gonna expend some of that in capital.
But didn't we spend millions on a new one? Like,
We
was I hearing a
appropriated
number
like
of
$10
$20
million,
million
didn't
or $10 million?
Yeah,
So we've appropriated, I wanna say around 16 million something.
Yeah,
The plant currently is budgeted at 14, but you have to have enough money to do it. And at that time, some of the costs have come down. So yes, there's a range between 14 million and 16 million. There are 2 articles that cover the Sierra Norman plant, because when we began that for the SRF permit, PFAS didn't exist. By the time it existed, we'd have to reapply for SRF. Well, we had it, so don't let it go. So that's why we stretched the building to allow PFAS tanks and piping to go within the
Right.
Sierra Norman plant. So that's all we could do, and that's why it increased above it was in the beginning 10.7, I believe, and then we added in another 6 million something.
so
So,
that 14 to 16, we still have to pay that.
Yeah, at
And
some
that-
point, yes, it's a
when-
zero interest
when-
loan though. We do have a zero interest loan with the SRF. There will be principal forgiveness, but they won't tell us until we're well into the project.
So if
So-
I may, I think
Sure.
what Mo's question was in reference to the water rates, because we're hearing the rates aren't gonna be increased. I've not talked to Art, I've not talked to Wayne, so I'm making an educated guess on this.
On this one, they will be.
So there will be no water rate increases, what you're saying for this budget?
For when we just added
So-
in Manley Street.
Yep. So I think what Wayne is saying is, because his surplus is around 518,000, your water rates for this current fiscal year now generated about a $500,000 surplus. There's a $335,000 increase.
Mm.
So that means that if they don't make an adjustment to their water rates, they should have enough money to cover this budget right here.
All right.
And that's why they're not projecting one. I'm assuming that to be accurate. That's my guess based on what I'm hearing.
We're not projecting one, but we're not gonna rule it out in
Of course.
case situations change
Yep.
as we go down through the process. But right now, we don't have one planned.
So that means then that as more debt comes on in the future, because there will,
Right.
then there would have to be adjustments. But based on
Okay.
this year,
Okay.
even though the first years of payments are hitting, based on what they were able to generate from water surplus, minus what that increase is that they're able to cover it. That's what I think I'm hearing. And Art's entirely right, because again, remember, all budgets, including the water budget, you're projecting until June of 2027.
Yeah.
So it's 18 months in advance.
Mm.
And if you did that at home, you would never hit it right on. We're certainly not gonna hit on with this. And just so everybody's aware, there's really 3 drivers in this budget. There's the transition assistance, there's the sick time buyback, and there is a new debt that came on. That's
Mm.
about 220,000.
Mm.
If you were to strip those out, the budget's up a little over 4.5%.
Okay.
So that's really, that's really what the budget would be year over year.
It's always a lot. Any other questions on the budget?
Your last budget, Wayne,
Yep.
unless you come back. I mean.
You're gonna miss it.
Like a toothache.
It's been fun. I've been happy. I've been employed for 21 years here, 28 and a half at Polaroid, 2 places I worked my entire life.
Yeah, it's pretty unusual.
All righty.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Enjoy your retirement.
Anytime any of you want to see what we do for a living, just call me.
I may do that.
Day and night, I'll take you
Not till
through.
the weather
Thank
gets
you.
better.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
too. We are going to,
Tracy took home.
so you have, these, you're gonna do these, right? All right, so David's gonna take us through the next few. They're usually pretty quick, I think. Starting with, hi Paula, the accountant,
Yep, so
1350.
So the account budget is up 4%, a little bit higher than average. However, that's really driven by one line, which is a $1,000 increase in training. The reason being, as you may recall, that last year, the person who did the part-time accountant, she passed away unexpectedly. So we moved somebody from the building department over, and she's doing a really good job. However, we don't want to get caught again. And so our current town accountant, who's a part-time person and retired with the state, she's going to retire in the next couple of years, full-time. And this, we believe, we've identified a really good candidate that can move up. So she's going to start her training now. So we'll have somebody in waiting. So that way, one, if she retires, or unfortunately something else happens to her, then we have something. So we're trying to be proactive and learning from not having a backup person last time. So it's really that $1,000 in a small budget that shows a little bit of a higher percentage increase year over year.
David, what's the difference between the treasurer and the town accountant?
Yeah. So by law, they are required to be separate people, so that way you have checks and balances. The accountant makes sure that all the numbers are in the right place. The treasurer is who disperses the funds.
Okay.
Town council is level funded year over year, no change.
Okay.
Cable TV committee, $1,100, level funded, no change.
Okay.
The planning board, the only change in it is in reference to the clerical person. She'll receive the 3% like everybody else, so it's up $700 year over year.
Oops, I'm sorry, are we jumping up, did we go over veterans?
So veterans is in your packet by accident. It is not on the agenda, and we are not doing the veterans tonight.
Board of Appeals?
Board of Appeals is up 3%, $168.
Rent control?
So rent control, there's a little bit of a change. So with rent control, by bylaw, you have 2 rent-controlled properties, which are both mobile home parks. And so historically, what happens is that the owner and/or the tenants will sign an agreement with each other, and historically, they have been 5-year agreements. The last one that was signed was in 2019, and it expired in 2024. As a tenant, that was good, because over the last year, whenever there was property tax increases or whatever, the owner couldn't charge for it. They have now entered into another phase to enter into another agreement. However, what is allowed by state law is that instead of doing it on a 5-year basis, is that you can do an annual petition. And both parties are looking to do annual petitions as opposed to a long-term contract. Because of that, the rent control has to meet more, and we do need members. So if anybody is out there listening, we need a couple of members. This is an important board. And as a result of more meetings, we also going to have more secretarial work for that to do as well. And the secretary provides a really important service, because what the process is that the owner must provide any and all invoices for all expenses. So that literally is from plowing to toilet paper to insurance, all of them. Then you have to vet them to make sure that they're appropriate. And then based on that, there is a formula that allows that person to get a built-in margin or profit on that. And of course, there's always contention as to whether or not it was a legitimate expense or not. So, so that's the secretaries to put all that together, vet it, bring it to the board, and then the board then reads through it in their multiple public hearings. So as a result, it's only $1,000, it's a small budget, so it looks like a big increase, but that's the purpose behind it.
Okay.
ADA compliance, level funded, and municipal building needs, that'll be level funded as well.
Okay. Any questions on any of those budgets?
Do we do veterans?
No.
Veterans is not on this
It's in
agenda,
there
it should
by
not have been in the
That's what
packet.
you were
It
saying.
will be at your next meeting.
All right.
I believe it's your next meeting. It'll be at one of your next 2 meetings, because you have 2 budget meetings left.
So let's get the dates for the next meeting. It's really March 12th?
It's really March 12th.
Okay.
No, it's just
Oh, no,
my,
this is the one, yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah,
19.
and I poorly communicated.
We
last
changed it
time, so-
last
Correct, so.
week.
March 12th and then the 19th.
Exactly, so
Okay.
the benefit is that you have 1 additional week in between than normal. The negative is that you will have those 2 weeks back to back.
Got it.
So,
So it's the 12th.
March 12th, make sure it's on here. I don't have it on here, so we have a meeting on the 12th.
You got it?
Thank you.
Second, well, I don't have it on here, because this is, we changed it, right? And then the 19th as well.
The 19th.
Everybody have all these on their calendar?
Yep.
They have the one on the 19th. Okay,
So,
perfect.
things will get fast, because you'll have those 2 meetings where you'll go through your last budgets.
Mhm.
And then your next meeting, which I believe is April 2nd, you will actually be voting on the budget at that
Wow.
point.
When is school supposed to come in?
School will be the 2nd meeting, so I believe that will be March 19th.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? No? Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Thanks, Mo.
Seconded?
Thanks, Cheryl. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No? We're out. Yeah, but it was good. It was good. You needed it. I sent him a picture. Yeah.